Hey guys, welcome to the brand new editions of the It's Nighttime Wrestling podcast. Don't forget those words seconds away beforehand makes us nice and synonymous with British wrestling. Thank you very much if you downloaded this, whether you got it from iTunes. If you have got it from there, don't forget please, really helps me if you could rate, review and subscribe for that. Would be absolutely marvellous. It means I get on that new and noteworthy section on there. Also uploaded to Stitcher Radio and pretty much anywhere else you get your podcasts. Really muchly appreciated. So please, however you can, spread the word. It's going to be a good one today.
Okay, listen up. Let's go.
You're listening to Europe's #1 pro wrestling podcast.
Set no substitutes.
Bringing you the best in pro wrestling interviews, news, and opinions with Mr. Stevie Knight.
It is I, Mr. Stevie Knight, and welcome, broadcasting live from my front room here in Cyprus. It is still absolutely beautiful, although we did drop to below 20 degrees today, which was a little bit depressing. I had to put a hoodie on today, but still absolutely beautiful here. Sorry if you're listening somewhere that's pretty cold. If it makes you feel any better, it does get a bit boring here sometimes, but the weather is certainly beautiful. Brand new interview for today. It's very exciting. We've got my old pal Steve Lynskey on the show. You might say, who? Who's he? He's a referee. He's also a promoter, and he's also a ring announcer, and he's also been in the British wrestling business for 26 years. And I've got to say, definitely one of the most controversial figures. And I don't shy away. I asked him bang on about all these things that he may have got up to during his career. Want to know where that ring went on that missing show a few years ago? You will find out today. He opens up, he lets us know about a lot of things, about his weight loss, which he really needed to do because he was a real fat bastard, but now down to 13 stone. Very jealous, much less than me. Loads of stuff is happening. We've got some really good interviews upcoming this week alone. I'm going to be talking to Rockstar Spud. Bit gutty because I spoke to Spud on Friday, recorded a great interview, nearly 2 hours of talking to Spud on Friday night, and I got all excited the next day to sit down, edit it down and things and get it up for you guys, only to find that only my voice could be heard. It did not record James Spud's voice. I was pissed off to say the least. However, onward and upward, because I did receive a message from my old pal Drew Galloway / Drew McIntyre. I asked him if he'd be willing to come on the show. He said he's more than happy to. So recording possibly tomorrow or the next day with former WWE Intercontinental Champion and definitely one of the top wrestlers in the world right now, Drew Galloway. I'm sure he's got a lot to say as well, so really looking forward to that one as well. Greg Lambert's going to be coming on the show next week. He's going to have a chat, give us the latest British wrestling news. It's all good. We're going to build up slowly, get things going. It's the early stages of the show, so if you can help out in any way, simply by spreading the word on your Facebook, on your Twitter accounts, however it may be. If you're going to go to iTunes, rate, review, subscribe, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker, we're also on iHeartRadio, absolutely everywhere. Wherever you can get a podcast, hopefully you will find us. I'm new to all this, so any help is always appreciated. You can get in contact, nightpodcast@gmail.com. Also on Facebook, just do a search for Seconds Away, It's Nighttime. And on Twitter, which I'm useless at. Again, any help, much appreciated with all these retweets and helping me spread the word a little bit. I am on there with Night Podcast. I'm not making a penny from this, literally. It's costing me quite a few quid to stick this out for you every single week, just for your enjoyment and for my enjoyment too. I definitely enjoy chatting to the guys and letting their stories be heard by you guys. So any help, much appreciated. So on to today's guest, Steve Lynskey. Yeah, a lot of people, if you are involved with the British wrestling business, if you're a fan of the British wrestling business, will definitely know who he is. He's been about and he's done, as you will hear, some absolutely remarkable things. Some brilliant things. At the moment he's doing things for Showmasters, where he's dealing with all the American wrestlers, old WWE stars, etc. Driving them about, spending time with them, and organising their bookings in the UK. Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio, top names, Sting, and just last week he was involved with the Hulk Hogan spoken word tour. So the guy's having an absolute blast, and he's got a lot to say. And a few years ago there was a bit of controversy with Steve Lynskey and a ring not turning up for a show where everybody was there, the guys who were working on the show, the punters in the crowd. Unfortunately, no ring turned up, and if you've always wanted to know the full story of what happened there, I think I pretty much get it out of him on this interview. So I'll stop waffling, and I will hand you over to Steve Lynskey, a man who I would say is quite controversial. Hello, Mr. Steve Lynskey.
Mr. Knight, very nice to be on your programme, sir.
Well, it's been a long time since we've even spoke, but it's one of those relationships where we could not see each other for 10 years and then just be best pals again as soon as we see each other.
Yeah, it's very rare in the wrestling business. So, what have we known each other now since 91?
I think, yeah, about 90... Well, I started wrestling in 91, but I think we probably even met before then, because we pretty much did exactly the same things to get in the job.
Yeah, we did. Started putting up rings up and getting in, going to the back doors, meeting all the wrestlers, and then having the crap kicked out of us before we learnt how the job worked.
Exactly. Some would say we've never learnt.
Yes. A lot of people would say you learnt a bit more than me, mate.
I'll take that, but maybe not that much more. But you've had more longevity than I have.
Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, I didn't take as many bumps as you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't take that many, and I'm knackered. I dread to think what some of these people. I was saying, if you go to one of the reunions and things, everyone's walking around with the walking sticks and things like that. And if you actually look at like old world of sport, 60s, they did nothing at all.
No, but they were doing it 7 days a week
on hard rings
and on hard rings and
cramped up cars.
Yeah. The job, I think every 15 years the job gets easier to get into.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Soon you'll just go pay to go in and just end up in the ring, won't you?
Oh yeah. That's pretty much what it's like now.
And the thing is, and I don't apologise anymore, because when I was listening back to some of the old podcasts, and me and talking to Danny Collins and a few of the other guys, we sound like right old moaning bastards, but I don't care anymore, because it's changed completely, hasn't it?
It has. I did a show last night, which Danny was on, and we was watching the show, and we sat there with Danny, and it's like, I mean, both me and Danny are in our 40s now, do you know what I mean? But Danny was around the block even before we got on the scene, do you know what I mean? But he's just sat there and he goes, "No, I won't be doing that. No, I won't be doing that." He says, "I don't know, I'm going to follow all these guys. I'm going to go in and wrestle."
Wrestle, yeah, that might help.
That's a gimmick match now.
You're right, yeah. World of sport rules. In other words, like a wrestling match is crazy, isn't it?
But he just said, "I'm just going to go in there and wrestle. I'm going to do something different to everyone else. I'm going to go in there and wrestle." And I just said, "That's a gimmick match now."
We pretty much, give or take a year, started at the same time. And more interestingly, we started in exactly the same area.
Yeah.
That we met the same guys. The same guys scared us. The same guys helped us. We very, very much started at the same time. So what is your backstory of getting involved with the wrestling business?
Well, I'm from Scunthorpe, as you know, so we were just down the road from each other. My mum used to take me to the Bath Hall when I was like 8, 9. Then we moved to Bridlington, which was where my mum was from, and then I used to go watch it at the Spa Royal Hall every Monday night during the summer, and it started a new promotion came to town called Seconds Out Promotions, and you remember him, Steve? Kevin in the wheelchair.
Oh yes, yeah.
So he started promoting, and the guys that were doing that were Jazzy Johnny Carroll, who was obviously Johnny Angel, Crazy Dave Adams, Ebony Kid, Ernie, bless him, Sizzler, Terry Frost, all those guys, and I think and Darren Ryder.
Yes, Bully Boy Briggs,
and
the man with the best feet in the business.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we pretty much met the same group of guys, and then obviously we started going down there, helping with the ring, putting the ring up, etc., etc. And then they did alternates on a Monday night. So Kevin would have his show one Monday night, and then the next week would be like Anrel Wisco or Max. So I was going there helping, and so I remember going in there and getting scurfed a bit and thrown about, and trying to bump myself and everything else. And
the word scurf is an old word. Basically, they beat you up, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. So yeah, I did that for a while, and then started on what was I, 16, and Darren said, "Yeah, you should come on the camps." So we're doing the holiday camps, and like back then now, like you say the holiday camps now, and the boys will think, oh, it's great, we get 6 to 8 jobs a week. We were doing 16 jobs a week.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think back, isn't it? Yeah.
Going all the way up to Ayr in Scotland, starting off at Ayr and doing the Isle of Bute and...
Oh God, yeah, the Isle of Bute.
Isle of Bute, that old age, the old age people's home on the Isle of Bute.
Yeah. The glamour of professional wrestling.
5 of us in a, 4 really, wasn't it? 4 of us in a white van, travelling, and I'm trying to get us with the old, we're travelling across the ferry now. Have you got a passport? And
oh yes.
Have you got a wrestler's license and all?
All those. Mal Mason used to try and sell the wrestling licenses, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Johnny Angel has said that to me at the time. Oh, you got to have a wrestling license, and Spinner McKenzie. Show him your wrestling license,
Oh Christ, Spinner McKenzie, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we did.
That brings up a few bad memories for you.
Oh my God, Spinner McKenzie gave me absolute hell. 1 week away on the camps, and people, they won't believe this, that nobody spoke to me for a week. Literally, nobody, none of the other wrestlers spoke to me for an entire week. It was all part of the 7-year apprenticeship that they used to have, and you had 7 years where you used to carry the bags and carry the ring spanners and everything else that you used to do to prove to them that you were going to stick it out and that what you were doing was good enough for them to teach you.
Yeah, that was it. And again, it's not like that anymore now. Do you know what I mean? The amount of times that I'll do I'll still do the Bognor Regis Butlins for Brian, and like the lads like Darren Walsh will come down and go, oh, do you remember when we used to give we'd have to keep the spanner bag, if we lost it, that'd be it. We'd have hell to pay and that, and it's just like, you do that now, and some of the lads are sort of laugh in your face and this, that, and the other, and you think, yeah, it's just too easy now.
They probably cry, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That was the. And hey, listen, I used to cry. I remember being in tears, especially the week when no one spoke to me. And then that was on top of getting thrown out of the ring van and, having to run the mile and all. I think it's great stories for people to hear now, though. It's not so much harping on about how it used to be. It's more just quite fascinating to hear how it's changed. Apparently, the person that got it the worst, and I think it shows because of how fantastic, what a great mind they've got for it now. Brian Dixon always told me that Robbie Brookside got it the worst.
Wow. I know. Danny. I mean, Danny tells me when he first started wrestling, like Fit and Skull and Lucky Gordon, and he'd get a pasting all the time. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you see lads now, they'll be on a show and Danny's on there, and you know how quiet Danny is. He just sits there and he watches everybody. Do you know what I mean? Don't really say anything, just sits there and watch, and then sort of, oh, you're on with Danny. I mean, I cacked my pants many a times when it's, oh, you're on with Danny. Oh, shit.
But I mean, you were never a fine athlete per se, were you? What was it? Was it just the wrestling business you liked, or did you want to be a wrestler?
No, it was all, like I say, when my mum used to take me, and at Scunthorpe, the local hero there was Ray Robinson. And the backstory to that is Ray worked with my dad when my dad was alive at Scunthorpe Steelworks, and then after my dad had passed and everything, and my mum remarried to my stepdad, who's Steve Lynskey. And it was like, and he went to school with him.
Oh right, okay.
So it's real sort of like so my old man worked with him, but he went to school with like my stepdad now, you know. So it's like, so I was used to go and I was used to watch him and